Alright, so here's another video on Kyle Kulinski from Secular Talk, and this is simply about how odd it is that sometimes people like him actually get it right in a way and seem to be stumbling onto something that if they would just investigate a little bit more, they may be able to apply it to other things they believe. So he was speaking about Facebook and censorship, and he sent this tweet out in which he says, quote, "Some people are still naive to think there are some people above the fray, non-ideological, purely objective philosopher kings who can manage all of this fact-checking and censorship perfectly. And to those people I say DM me because I have a bridge to sell you." End quote. Okay, that is not a terrible point. I can see why he would make that point because he realizes that it's impossible for human beings, considering our faulty nature, to have just a few people trying to manage, supervise, and control such a lofty nationwide effort. But it's very odd to me that he said this just yesterday, but back in December of 2018, a little less than a year ago, he put out a very long list of things he thinks Democrats should pursue. Now, it's a long list. I am not going to read or go through it all here, but I suggest you check it out. And honestly, not all of it is terrible. There are certainly things I agree with, ending the war on drugs, reducing the military budget. I even thought putting body cams on lobbyists was a pretty good idea. I had never even thought of that before. But then, of course, he goes into free college, which is just a government takeover of higher education. Well, they already took it over. They took over the financing of college, and they've done a horrific job of that. But other than that, he also mentions free healthcare, Green New Deal, a New Deal, Social Security for all, or a UBI, living wage, free childcare, eliminating homelessness, and so on. And eliminating homelessness, there it is again, all that talk that caused the 2008 housing crisis. But I digress. Basically a huge list of massive government takeovers of entire industries. I mean, the Green New Deal and the New Deal by themselves would be a massive takeover in and of themselves. But anyway, the point here is that this is so odd coming from someone who recognizes the limitations of what's possible for what people can manage on a national scale. If we could live in a world where everything you read is true and there is no false information, that would be better, but that would require next-level divine beings hovering above humanity, and therefore to put censorship into the hands of just ordinary human beings would be catastrophic, despite the basic statement that having true news is better than having false news. And by the way, who even cares about Facebook? Facebook is on a serious decline. Today, they have 15 million users less than what they had just 2 years ago. I don't envision a future where Facebook survives or certainly maintains what it is today. Hell, it isn't today what it was last year. I mean, I have one for this channel, and I only post on there because it takes me 5 seconds, but it's by far my least active platform. But anyway, the point here is this. People like Kyle Kulinski just strike me as odd. All they need to do is use the logic that they use here and apply it to here. You want to say that people can't manage censorship effectively, so they shouldn't try, even if they think they're being noble. Fine, I agree with you. But why then would you place into the hands of a few thousand people the levers, buttons, and pulleys of entire industries that affect hundreds of millions of people across millions of square miles? Why are you so easily duped into believing that politicians will be able to effectively allocate resources, money, time, manpower, energy, logistics, financing, research, development, and be able to take over all of that from multiple sectors of our economy and be able to be, as you described, above the fray, non-ideological, purely objective philosopher kings? And not only that, they would need to be economic and mathematical geniuses, but I hesitate in even saying that because even if they were geniuses in this regard, these industries deal with circumstances that change not only on a monthly or weekly basis, but day to day, hour to hour, minute by minute. There would be no possible way for them to even receive the information necessary to make effective decisions in this regard. So it's just sad to see someone make a decent point about human limitations and how not all noble purposes will end well given the faulty nature of humans, but then show his complete inability to apply that to politicians and how they're taking over of entire industries, despite perhaps it being a noble purpose, would not end well. But that is all for now. Please like, subscribe, and share this video, and take it easy.